Just give me an opening comment so I can say.
Dude, we're already recording. That was Clay Hall, featuring Clay Hall. Instead, ladies and gentlemen, the Tim May Show featuring Clay Hall opened with a little bit of words from Clay Hall. So across the nation and around the world, all you college football fans, all you pro football fans, thanks for joining us on this very special Tim May Show, talking about some of the things we saw at Ohio State's Pro Day with a myriad pro scouts, GMs. I think a couple of head coaches were in the house, but the bottom line is as one of the photographers who was there who follows these things said, it looked like more than twice the amount of scouts, et cetera, than were at Notre Dame just the day before. But this was Ohio State Pro Day 2026, featuring the players from Ohio State who aspire to be in the National Football League, who aspire to go higher in the draft in April. And, of course, Ohio State might have 5 players drafted in the first round. Amazing. Crazy.
Yep.
We talk about Ryan Dagas talked about that in one of our little videos coming up. One of those guys could be Caden McDonald. I've got Caden McDonald talking about that. And, he put on a show today during his, I guess, brief. He didn't run. He didn't do the 40. He doesn't need to do the 40. I asked him about that. He had a few lingering things from the season that he thought might hinder him or set him back if he ran the 40 because you're going all out. But I will tell you, in his little drills, he went all out, and you could have heard him 2 towns over. So Caden McDonald, who, if he goes in the first round, could submit the fact Ohio State have 5 guys taken. The Styles brothers did not participate because they put on a show at the Combine in Indianapolis just over a month ago. And I'm talking about Sonny Styles. Wow. He had a Jesse Owens type combine.
Yes,
and his smaller but older brother, Lorenzo Styles Jr., had his right arm in a sling. He's been needing to have surgery on that for a while. I don't know if you saw that famous tweet from the Styles R Us tweet site, but
from Pop.
But I think his high jump vertical leap over at Indianapolis was 38 or 39 inches. His brother did what?
43
and a half.
Something like that.
Yeah. And Styles R Us, which Lorenzo Styles Sr., as I talked to him today, he said he thinks his wife puts that out. But that Lorenzo Styles Jr. was what's the word I'm looking for there? I was going to say he was inhibited.
Yes.
By the fact he didn't get to reach with his good arm.
With his right.
He had to reach with his left arm, and he still did David Thompson type numbers. That's a throwback to a great basketball player of North Carolina State ilk.
The kids need to know about
the guys
him.
Who could fly. There have been guys, the Styles can fly.
No doubt.
But anyway, they didn't need to work out. But Caleb Downs, I thought he only worked out in the defensive back drills part of the thing. He didn't run a 40.
No.
I don't think he ran a 40 at the Combine either. So, but no one seems to be batting an eye on whether Caleb Downs can play the game at safety. We'll get into a little bit of sound with him, we hope. We've been having a little bit of a technical difficulty.
No, we don't. We're good.
But we're going to hear from Ryan Day just talking about the general scene. We're going to hear from Matt Patricia talking about watching his defensive stars from last year's one of the great defenses in Ohio State history. Agreed?
Is this where I say my opening comment?
Well, if it was about Ohio State's defense, yes.
No, because I would dovetail what you said about Ryan, and the reason there are twice as many people here as Notre Dame and many, many others is that these scouts say this is so much better organized. This thing used to take 3 hours. It took right on 2 hours today. And as you said, with Sonny, with the Styles brothers kind of taking a back seat and watching their brothers compete, I was almost as enamored with Julian Sayin, Tavian St. Clair, and Brandon Ennis. I kept looking. I said, who is that guy that's so fast? And it was Brandon Ennis.
Yeah.
He has
even though he had his name on his back. But I'm glad you kept looking to figure it out.
Well, sometimes they didn't turn around.
No, Brandon Ennis, man, he's the guy. He could
flying.
be one of the stories of 2026 for this football team.
No
and
doubt.
people don't understand. We've seen underclassmen throw before. I'm talking about from a quarterback standpoint. Well,
Carnell.
we've seen long ago classmen like Troy Smith one time throw because they needed a quarterback, and we did not see Jeremiah Smith out there running routes, even though he could have. But I talked to him about that.
You'll hear from him.
We'll get on that. Yeah, I enjoy every time I talk to Jeremiah Smith. I marvel at guys who are so confident in themselves that they can just freely talk and not worry about repercussions he didn't say anything that would get any repercussions or ramifications. But the bottom line is, you could see scouts occasionally just kind of turn around glancing over at that guy in the kind of what's that green, gray green kind of like colored sweatsuit. What's that
Sometimes
called?
that's called
Not a
slate
harvest
gray.
green. Yeah. But anyway, he was just enjoying himself. Boy, he looked fit and trim too.
Always.
Yeah. But the bottom line is we'll get to all that. But let's start with a guy that I don't think he needed to answer any questions. We watched this guy play for several years. Then he goes to the combine. He ran got official time was a 4.5240 for Carnell Tate. Ooh, the murmur,
but many others said sub
right.
4.5.
Well, that's the thing. Electronic time was one thing, but all these scouts, and there was a big falderall about what was more accurate, hand timed or electronic. You'd think electronic, but the point is this: the guy was great this past season. The guy sure looks fast enough. Well, Ryan Day addresses that a little bit, but so does Carnell Tate when I ask him about it. He surely looks fast enough. But what he does, we talked about this. I think I talked about this with Dylan Davis on last week's Friday show. The whole idea is create separation and get open. And he clearly fit that bill. I mean, ask Michigan if he got open, right?
I'm over here writing down falderall.
Yeah, falderall. That's a good word.
That is tremendous.
But anyway, let's just start number one with a video of Julian saying, we're just saying,
okay,
throwing a pass to who we were just talking about, Carnell Tate. And then let's kind of
we can
go from there.
Right?
Okay, not much of a snippet, but a snippet. And that was on a little I don't know what you'd call that. It looked like a post and then a takeoff route, middle of the field, but the ball was right on the money in Carnell Tate. There were several other videos, but if I ran every video that I shot in that underlighted indoor facility, underlit indoor facility, we'd be squinting for a long time. I did that with my backup camera, which, by the way, was really good because I'm still trying to find out how I can get a telephoto lens for my GoPro. I don't think that they maybe exist. I just haven't looked in the right place. But the bottom line is that just set up Carnell Tate. Now let's listen to what Carnell Tate had to say, because some people wanted to know. I mean, I think even though he had a good combine, other than that 40-yard dash, some people still wanted to know about Carnell Tate. Let's see what Carnell Tate had to say after his workout.
From there, just probably to go as high as possible at that point.
And what did you like about today's performance?
I just did what I do best, play football. I'm a football player. I got the best route running ability out there in the draft, probably in the country, even in the league. So I just did what I do best. We were out there, we're out to catch the football.
I think you answered the question about your speed, Carnell. I mean, you move pretty fast out there. You understand what I'm saying?
I mean, I think I'm a great football player. My speed, the combine's one time, but ultimately I'm a great football player. Then when you put the pads on, it's another level.
Were you nervous going into today, or what? Just give us your state of mind.
No, I wasn't nervous at all. At this point, it's football. That's what I do best. So I've played football millions of times. So yeah, just another day playing football, catching football, and running routes.
Carnell, how ready does this program get you for these moments like this to be pro ready by the time eyes get on you?
They get you very ready. Like playing at Ohio State, you're obviously playing at the highest level. You're playing in front of you're on the national media stage. So it comes with the ins and outs, but it ultimately prepares you for the next level.
What do you think of the potential all these first-round guys in this class that you're part of. It's going to be probably a really good night for this program.
We're all happy for each other. Like, we all talked about this. Ultimately, when you're freshman, you come in, the goal is to do 3 and not go first round. So to be able to finally do that, then do it with a group of guys that means a lot to us. We all root for each other. That we all wish each other could go high as possible.
Carnell, what's the one thing that you've been really trying to work on for when you get to the NFL?
Probably just my transition in and out of my routes. I feel like that's where you create separation at the next level, how fast you can transition.
Carnell, how did it feel to get to catch some passes from Julian today, and what did you feel like he was able to showcase today?
Julian's he's always been a great quarterback for me. He's very accurate. So it was an honor to catch footballs from him. Probably my last time with him. Hopefully play for the same team in the NFL, but it was a blessing to be able to play with Julian alongside crazy arm talent.
Ryan talked about how fluid of an athlete you are. You mentioned how excellent your route running is. Do you feel like a 40 time could be a little bit overvalued sometimes when you're evaluating a receiver's ability to create that separation and those kinds of things?
I definitely think it can be overvalued. Like cover a great NFL receiver that's right now, like Puka, Jason. I'll probably win. They ain't run the fastest of times, but they're the 2 best receivers in the league right now. So it just depends on who's looking at it and how y'all want to take it.
Did you think about running it again?
Yes, I ultimately did think about running it again, but we just decided just not to. Just go play that football. No teams questioning about my speed, so we just go out there and run routes at this time.
Carnell, do you have a feel for where you think you're going to land?
No, I do not. I have no idea where I'm going to land. It's in the team's hands, so hopefully I'm just blessed with opportunity.
Do you have any visits scheduled?
Yes, I have a couple of visits. I got Tennessee, I got the Saints, I got the Commanders, I got the Giants, KC. Yeah.
Are you ready for what you're going to do on draft night?
I'm going to go to Pittsburgh. Me and my family decided it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for us to all go, so why not go?
Carnell, I know you did visit Cleveland Browns a week or two some time ago. Just what was that like, and what is it like on those 30 visits?
They're great coaching staff. Coach Monkey, I remember him from recruiting me at Georgia, so yeah, we had a great time to talk about football. They love me, and I love them.
Carnell, when you were going through your recruiting process, did you build any type of relationship with Cortez?
Yeah, so actually Cortez was down at LSU when I went down on my OV, so me and him laughed and joked about how I didn't end up at LSU, but ultimately he knew what was best for me to come up here, and I'm happy for him. He's here now where I played at, so yeah, I wish nothing about.
Brandon said that you guys played a role in getting him here?
Yeah, definitely. They asked us who we think, who we value as a coach. We all pitched in Coach Hank's name. He's a great guy, unbelievable coach, and yeah.
What did you like about him? What do you think makes him a good coach?
I think he's very relatable. He's also a young coach, and then he's coached elite talent. So yeah, why not come at Ohio State to do that?
When you look back at your career, did you accomplish everything you wanted to do? So you wanted to win back-to-back, but
I accomplished some of what I wanted to do. I played a very good Ohio State career. It could have been better. Ultimately, I was in God's plan.
What didn't you do that you wanted to do?
I probably finished the season. I probably didn't want to miss 3 games a year. Probably wouldn't blend the cup. So at the pace I was on, so yeah.
Carnell, how do you feel about your performance today?
I felt good about my performance. Just running routes and playing football, what I do best.
Can Will Howard give you some tips on what to do?
No, Will ain't giving no tips. He's gonna root for me to come fall to Pittsburgh. So yeah, I'm happy for him.
There's been a lot of buzz about him this offseason from people with the Steelers organization.
Yeah.
What do you make of his kind of chances to succeed at the pro level?
I'm happy for him, bro. I wish Will all nothing but the best. I love that guy to death. So yeah, I'm happy for him. I wish he could steer the keys.
What do you want this past season, and then
Interesting thing about Carnell Tate is when there's a little bit of doubt thrown out there, about you one way or the other, what he was saying there without saying it out loud was just check out the tape. Check out the video.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly what he was saying.
And
he said he could run the best routes in the NFL right now.
Well, he just said, he is a technical route runner, number one. Mm-hmm. He gets wide open. The main thing he does on pass plays, which is important at any level, especially in the NFL, is he gets to where he's supposed to be at the right time. That's route running in a nutshell. No matter how you get there, do you get there at the right moment for the quarterback to fire? And he definitely showed he can do that. And the most interesting comment there was he had to miss those 3 games, and we think it was a calf injury that was his problem, and you don't want to rush back from that. Remember, we all remember the game. He and Jeremiah Smith both had to sit out. Ohio State still won convincingly. But the bottom line was when he said he was on pace probably to win the Biletnikoff.
Right. He probably would have won it.
Well, yeah. But there was another guy on his team
yeah,
who was upset. he didn't win the Biletnikoff. Upset is, are you kidding me? Kind of like thing, you know, because really, Jeremiah Smith for the second year in a row had a tremendous season. And but what'd you think about that comment? That's pretty funny, wasn't it?
It was. I think Carnell.
Not funny, huh? Just
Yeah,
interesting.
Kind of
Interesting what goes on in the wide receiver and cornerbacks' minds.
in the weeds back there. I just think they both attack and they consume the football. You have no shot.
Amen.
You have no shot as a DB because their hands, almost like Marvin, maybe, I don't know. I don't know if they're better than Marvin. They're all in the same plane.
Here's the thing: if either one of them is waiting for the mailman, they're gonna be getting the mail post a mailbox earlier down the road because they're gonna go for the mail. They on curls, comebacks, they come back. I mean, they come back with gusto. A lot of young youngsters, even in the college football and the NFL, you'll see a guy turn and wait for the football to come to him.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Free delivery. When in fact,
Go
you see the
get
ball
it.
coming to you, you go out, you snatch it, and you take off. And that's what both of these guys, Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate, were good at. And like I've said before, you know, Jerry Rice supposedly, nobody has record of when he ran or supposedly of how he ran, but he supposedly ran a high 4.5, maybe a 4.6.
That's what was going around in the deep south.
The all-time leading pass receiver in National Football League history and Super Bowl MVP, whatever you want to call it. Jerry Rice left no mistake that he was the best receiver of all time. Who cares what his time was on a stopwatch or electronic? Speaking of that, speaking of a guy who's pretty damn fast and who I still was able to catch up with afterwards because he had the opportunity to run to go out there and work out today, just like Julian Sayin did. And that's Jeremiah Smith. But, you know, me and another guy caught up with him after the workout, and he was in a nice, like I said, jumpsuit, and just talked about watching Carnell, what Carnell can bring to the table. And, of course, we all know every one of those scouts probably has already saved money on advanced airline ticket purchases for this time a year from now, if in fact that's up yet, to watch Jeremiah Smith do his thing. But let's go to this little video with Jeremiah Smith.
Like I said, my freshman year, he helped me a lot with that. Some of it a little bit. I mean, he's just always been a big help with mine ever since we played with each other here at Ohio State. I mean, just great teammate, great person to be around always. So it's very helpful to be around Carnell Tate.
Yeah, and what do you see out of the connection between him and Julian this season and the way that they were able to connect? Obviously, you guys connect, but what did you see out of those two?
Yeah, them two, they had the connection going pretty good this past season that we had. Them guys clicking like this, you know, every game. So it's pretty special for them guys to have that type of connection.
Yep. What is Julian like as a quarterback? You've been working with him for a few years now. So
yeah, I mean, Julian, he's special. Like I said, he can make any and every throw. You know, we trying to get him to use his legs more this season, going into this season. But like I said, Julian, he's a very smart quarterback, the leader of our team, leader of our offense, and that's who we lean on when things are going bad. Or we need that should I say? I can't even find the word.
Spark.
That spark, yeah, that spark. Like he get us going for sure.
Is he more outspoken than he was a year ago?
Now he is.
You understand what I'm saying? Now he's the guy.
Yeah, now he is. I mean, actually yesterday he just snapped on Nate Roberts because Nate Roberts was talking over him over a play. He got on Nate Roberts about him being in the huddle and him trying to call a play. He got on Nate Roberts. So I liked that about him yesterday.
Isn't it funny that Carnell Tate was getting questioned by the speed at the combine?
Yeah.
You've been around him.
Yeah.
He's as fast as he needs to be. Isn't he?
Yeah.
Am I wrong about that?
No, you're not wrong. I mean,
Plus separation.
yeah, he creates separation. I mean, I don't really matter speed. I mean, that's just straight line. I mean, you're not really running a straight line all the time on the football field, so that don't really matter. I mean, you see the things he could do. He creates separation. He can do everything right. I mean, Carnell is the best receiver in this class, and I don't know how many times I got to say it.
I asked you last year, would you have liked to have been out there today? Or just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would.
Everybody here's buzzing about you.
Yeah, I would love to. I chose not to for a reason. I don't want to say the reason why, but I chose not to go out there today.
Yeah.
They let you wear blue in the vicinity?
But does it help though that you know what how many people are going to be watching you next year? You got to bring,
Yeah.
you have to bring your A game
Okay.
on a day like this. Am I
Yeah.
wrong about that?
No, you're not. I mean, you definitely got to, bring everything that you got. This is where you're making money at, and you got to, perform at a very high level on the pro day and, combine and things like that. So, yeah.
Always, like I say, always a pleasure talking to Jeremiah Smith.
Always a pleasure.
I like the young man. Always have liked him. I mean, yeah, it's just hard to believe he's a superstar sometimes because of how down to earth he is about a lot of things. And
he tackles every question. He doesn't back up. He's always on not the offensive, but he's very comfortable in.
Yeah, he's straightforward in he's straightforward in the way he plays and the way he talks. Confidence oozes from his pores. I'm not even sure if he even knows what confidence is. I think he's always been really good. I mean, it'd be like being Mozart. Just sat down at a piano and started playing, or a harpsichord and started playing. I mean, no big deal, no biggie, as Ted Ginn Jr. would put it. Just sit down and do your thing. We're going to talk about them, by the way, next week a little bit if you want to, the UFL.
Teddy ball game.
Yeah. But getting back to that, speaking of a former great wide receiver, even more so in the NFL than he was even in college football, because he was underutilized. I will say it for the 14 millionth time at Ohio State. Wow. They left a lot of meat on that bone. I think I've even told Tressel that a couple of times, Coach Tressel. But anyway, bottom line is, Carnell Tate caught everything thrown to him today. It helps, as Carnell Tate said, because every time he puts his hands out, the ball's right there because he's coming from Julian Sayin. We got to see Tavian St. Clair also throw the ball, which was, I talked to Tavian briefly afterwards, and he was, tickled to get to do that in front of all those guys. I mean, they're all going to be looking for him in a couple of years. So just
he's climbing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, but, there's no doubt that this is Julian Sayin's.
Yep.
Last year was his coming out party. This year is his party, and in the big mansion, in the big ballroom. Wait, that brings visions of something else. I don't want to get into politics, but the bottom line is Julian Sayin, you can see the coaches talking about him too. You can hear the buzz when he's throwing the ball because, you'll hear Ryan Day talk about that in a minute. I mean, he seemed to be on the money with every throw. I don't know if you noticed that or not.
No, the thing you notice, I was in the end zone, and you feel the speed right there.
Yeah.
When they're extending to get to that ball, and they're tracking, and they just are, and they always get there. I mean, I think out of 30 throws, one might have been underthrown and one might have been overthrown.
Yeah, but that overthrow, the receiver got touched it with both hands. So
yep,
should have been a catch. I think in a game it would have been a catch. I'm not going to name the receiver who didn't quite get it, but it doesn't matter. Bottom line is the ball was there. Yeah. Deep fade route. I mean, corner route, probably what you'd call it. And man, I just, guys like Julian Sayin, we've seen some great quarterbacks. C.J. Stroud comes to mind. Troy Smith comes to mind, obviously, Heisman Trophy winner. Justin Fields, right on down the line. Bobby Hoying in his day, when they finally started throwing the ball with gusto around that line. But I'm telling you, Julian Sayin is special in his own right.
Some of these are 55-yard throws.
Exactly. But and just the ease with which the ball comes out of his hand, but with velocity. He's always, as I say, leaning forward. I mean, he's got that forward lean to him when he throws it, which I consider myself a kind of a quarterback guru, but who doesn't, right? Monday morning quarterbacks. But I've studied quarterbacks forever.
Yeah. And
finally, what sets them apart is kind of what Jeremiah Smith alluded to there when I asked him about him being more assertive. That's what finally sets you apart as a great quarterback is between your ears. Because you can be kind of you don't have to be a Mensa dude to be a great quarterback. You just got to be able to assimilate what's going on in front of you more quickly than the other guy, and you're already a half second ahead of him. That's where he stands out. I watched him and Arthur Smith, the new offensive coordinator of Ohio State, former head coach in the National Football League with the Atlanta Falcons, and last year the OC for Pittsburgh Steelers and Aaron Rodgers, and they were cutting up kind of in the end zone before the throwing part of the festivities began. And Arthur Smith was telling him some kind of story because I could see Julian kept laughing. But the point is, they already have developed a chemistry. He and Billy Fessler, the quarterback coach, Julian and him, and even Tavian, they seem to get along extremely well. They seem to be on the same wavelength. So I think great things are coming this year in the passing game for Ohio State. What's your take?
Well, they just recently hired a pass rush guru,
which
I'm going to speak to Ryan for you about your quarterback guru status and the fact that you might be able to take these guys to.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, especially if it means money.
2 gurus on the same staff.
By the way, speaking of gurus, I was talking to Anthony Schlegel. I hadn't really talked to him much since he got the job back in the strength and conditioning room, I call it the weight room, going way back. But he's tickled. He is so tickled to be back at Ohio State and doing his thing, because few people do their thing like him. And the enthusiasm he brings is not fake. He's entertaining even when he's being serious. I mean, that dude, man, and he was at the combine today and enjoying the festivities like another 300 or 400 other people. It seemed like. But one of the guys who was watching, and he knows it's a testament to what he and his coaches have taken and expanded at Ohio State. I'm talking about Ryan Day. He did not take over a car from the side of the road with a tire missing.
No.
But what do you do with that sports car once it's in your hands?
He's going to throw out a stat here.
Yeah.
Anyway, you'll hear it.
Yeah. Let's just see what Ryan
impressive.
Day had to say after this workout, where it showcased what he and his coaching staff, his developmental staff, Anthony Schlegel, Mickey Marotti, all those guys, Mark Pantoni, what they put together, what their aim is. It's very interesting. I mean, I'm going to repeat it till I pass away. This is the golden age of Ohio State football. I hope everybody understands that.
There's some of those games where, he was lined up on that center, just knocking people back.
Talk about Caden McDonald.
This year, what he did. I think, what Matt did and putting him, over the center on first and second down, would really fit his skill set in a big way. You can see him two-gapping, really powerful in the run game. And you can see, he looks great. He's going to be able to rush the passer as well. So he was somebody that certainly helped us in a big way, stop the run on early downs.
It looks like you're going to have 5 first-round picks out of this class. I mean, what does that say about this program and what you've created here?
Well, you're going to have to check our math on this, but Mick and I just did this, and I think we're just under 20 guys in the last 7 or 8 years that we've had here that have been come on after 3 years. And that, to me, speaks a lot about the development here. And so, Sonny reclassified, but you talk about Carnell, you talk about Caleb, you talk about Arvell, you talk about Caden. Those guys, are all juniors. So for them to be ready to where they are right now in 3 years, again, says a lot about what we do. And this is a big part of what we sell. When you talk about the expectations of being at Ohio State, what comes with this, playing in front of the big lights, the fact that we're held to a very high standard here in how we do things, and we're the face of the university, that translates really well to the NFL. We have just under 12 million fans here, and so there's a lot that comes with that. These guys understand that, and again, held to a high standard, so they understand what that's like, being in an NFL-type city. So I think it's easy for organizations to look at our guys and project what they're going to look like going on, to their teams. But it's also the schemes that we're both, on offense and defense, NFL schemes. And so, we have coaches who have coached in college and in the NFL. So when these folks come in and talk to our guys, it's easy to say, all right, how do you see him playing? Well, he reminds me of so-and-so. Or remember, when we used to do this, he can do this in this type of scheme. And so, that's what folks are looking for. Looking for guys who understand the scheme that can play in year one, especially with a first-round pick, but also guys that can be the face of the organization.
Right. When you're having conversations over there, are they primarily about the current class or Jeremiah?
Or what I had for breakfast, or where our kids are at, or whatever.
Yeah.
No, it's all the above. It's the state of college football is a big one right now. Just there's a lot that's gone on, and I think you get numb to it a little bit after a while. These guys get a lot of attention, they get a lot of money, and
it's our responsibility to make sure that we're doing a good job understanding that there's a trickle-up effect. These guys are going to the NFL, and the trickle-down effect that goes into high school. And so I think it's important for the NFL to understand what's coming in the next 4 to 5 years, and it's important for us to project out what it's going to look like here and making sure that we're aware that we're still keeping our focus on these young men with everything that's going on, the type of people that we bring in. And you have guys like Caleb, and you have guys like Sonny and Arvell, and all these guys. Where if I'm a 7-year-old kid living in Columbus, Ohio, I can look at these guys and say that's what I want to be someday. And it's their responsibility to be role models. And so, kind of conversations like that, and then also, what do you think once they get into our organization? How do you think they're going to fit? And most of them, they know what the film says. They want to know who they are as people.
Carnell Tate on Arvell Reese and kind of the rise he's made as an Ohio kid developing here and now being projected as high as number 2 in some mock drafts.
Yeah, I mean everyone has their own story, but Arvell, his first year played on the scout team. He was a defensive lineman, he was a defensive end, and then in year 2 moved to linebacker, and obviously you saw what happened in year 3. But because of his mindset, he was at Glenville under Coach Gann and understood what it meant to be a Buckeye, and that he didn't panic after 1 year and say, I'm going to transfer. He hung in there and knew what it meant to be a Buckeye, and now look at what's going on here. And playing multiple positions has now paid off for him too, because that's what an NFL team sees, somebody that can play on the edge and also can play at linebacker. So I think he's got a tremendous upside. He's still only 20 years old, hasn't turned 21. And I think a lot of these guys feel the same way.
Carnell had a chance to show off the stems, the route running, the hands. What can he bring to an NFL wide receiver?
It was easy to see, he's got himself in great shape, and how fast he's moving, and how fluid he is and effortless he is, moving breaks, catching the ball, and that was on film. So he's a guy who is going to be a number 1 wide receiver for some organization, and somebody that has done it at a high level. And he's smooth, he's physical, and he's going to be a guy that certainly can have an impact day 1 walking into the team.
Ryan, hey guys, we've got Sonny Styles available over here.
Ethan's time here probably did not go the way that everyone envisioned it going, but he's a big athlete who's got a chance still. What do you tell teams about him?
Well, just, there's not a ton of film to go off of, so some of the stuff is at Rice, and you can see obviously the physical skill set that he has here. And that,
Talking Ethan on
we wish we had a few more years with him, but everything happened so fast that he wasn't able to get as many of the reps as he would have liked to have seen. But he certainly has a lot of ability and has a lot of traits.
When you're talking to guys about Taiwan Malone, every time we talk to you about this, he hasn't played football a lot, but he's been baseball and football, so he still has a lot of learning to do.
Yeah.
What are you telling guys about Taiwan Malone? Because the athleticism is obvious when you watch him run out there.
Well, I think he's just coming into his own. Like you said, he's played his best football this season, which means, there's still a lot to go, though, because he did play baseball and then, didn't really just dive into football. And sometimes it takes time. You look at, Devon Hamilton. You look at that. I mean, it took him a few years to get to where he is now. Now he's one of the better guys in the league. And so I still think he's got a lot of upside. You look at his size, it certainly, checks a lot of boxes that way. So he's only going to get better with the more reps he has. And I think, if he finds himself in the right situation, gets himself an opportunity, he'll take off from there.
What's the benefit for Julian being out there throwing today? What does that do for him? You were in this group of looking at players before.
Yeah, it's like anything else. When you're doing it for the first time, and whether it's first start against Texas or whatever it might be, first rivalry game, first time doing a pro day. And that's why it was good to get Tavian out there a little bit just to feel it, so that when they're in that situation, they know what it's like. And we've been through it before. Again, that's why I said before, we kind of turn the music up loud to kind of create a little bit of a, everyone smile, have some fun, and not, make it so awkward, because sometimes it can feel awkward. You don't think it's a big deal, and then you get in front of all these distinguished guys from the NFL, and everything can get tight. It wasn't that way. I thought it was really well done. And by the way, maybe he missed a throw, but it didn't look like he missed 20 to me.
What is the conversation you have when you're trying to discuss who you let do that early, right? Because Julian obviously has experience getting a chance to do it, but Jeremiah obviously there's probably pros and cons with why you wouldn't let him do that. One of those conversations.
So we need to be operational. So we need a quarterback to throw, obviously, and then we start to figure out the flow of how it's going to go, and so we try to grab guys who we think the numbers we need, and then the second thing is, asking Carnell, what do you need? Max, what do you need? And making sure that we just get everybody involved, and ultimately, Mick and I decide who's going to be there, and then maybe there's a situation, where we say, hey, it'd be good for you to kind of, do this, and they can decide whether they want to do it or not. It's kind of up to them. But usually it's just about the operation and making sure that we're showcasing the guys that are going into the draft.
How about Carnell? How do you think he looked today? Really sharp.
I thought he looked good. I thought he looked good running. I thought he was strong. He looked kind of long and powerful and just eating up ground, and was covering some of those over routes fast, and looked sharp catching the ball. Just everything looked crisp to me.
How big of a recruiting tool is this day and
Yeah.
everything that you guys have done?
Yeah, it's really important. I mean, when we go through the recruiting process, we talk about the expectation of championships and win the rivalry game and all that. But another part of it is your expectation is you're coming to get drafted in the first, second, or third round. And that's the expectation for all of us. And so we have the blueprint for that. A lot of people talk about it. We have the blueprint. We can show you all the guys. And if you kind of come in here and give yourselves to us and believe and understand how hard it's going to be when you get here, then this is an example of how it could work. And so we're proud of that, and we're continually trying to figure out ways to enhance it.
Like I said, there was a photographer there who had been at the Notre Dame Pro Day yesterday, even previous day. I said that earlier, right? But he said it was at least twice as many pro scouts, et cetera, there. Now, maybe they're more because they're more prospects. But I mean, he said there were 7 or 8 or so working out at Notre Dame. And the interesting thing about this is we didn't see a plethora of head coaches, but Alabama's Pro Day was today, and several other schools of repute. So
Sure.
these scouts get kind of scattered, but I mean, it was a huge party of scouts, GMs, administrators, and assistant coaches. And they were, for example, for Caleb Downs, and when he was done, a couple of Cowboy scouts, coaches went out of their way to give him a hug and everything else. I mean,
you can see
I think their first pick is middle of the first round, maybe
12th.
Yeah, I don't think he lasts that long. As I've been telling everybody, if I was going to pick a defensive player in this draft, one defensive player, and I only got to pick one, it would be Caleb Downs. I don't care what I've got at safety right now on my roster. Caleb Downs brings so much more than just his playing ability, which is elite. It's just, I'm just curious about how that works out for him. And I don't know. It's going to be, I think, a curious draft day for him, because we've seen these guys. Sonny Styles had the combine of combines, and you've seen him anywhere from like one of the first 4 or 5, 6 picks to maybe slip into the middle of the first round. Like I remind everybody, you're not picking based on pecking order. You're picking based on
need
and talent, how that guy show up. But sometimes you don't need that guy.
Right.
But I think every defense down the road would benefit from having a Sonny Styles or a Caleb Downs on their roster for all kinds of reasons. And one of which is just pure, unadulterated leadership. And that's where I stand on that. Go ahead. What were you going to add?
Over Arvell Reese, who can play 2 positions.
Yeah, but
and he showed them today. He can rush the quarterback.
Well, he showed
he did drills.
Yeah, he showed today he can do those drills.
Yep.
And look good at it. But the National Football League is tough, man. It's tough to be that 2 position dude. And my point about Caleb Downs is Caleb Downs, barring injury, would never leave the field. Right now, I still see Arvell Reese leaving the field for plays.
Oh, you don't
different
think
kinds
he's
of
a 3
situations.
down? Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, I think he can be, but I'm talking about a guy who can be right out of the gate.
True.
And that's Caleb Downs. And there are some teams in the National Football League, I don't know if they're hurting for defensive coordinators or hurting for leadership, or definitely hurting for players on the defensive side of the ball who could use a Caleb Downs. I'm not stumping for him. I'm not saying Caleb Downs and I never had I wouldn't call it any, and we never had any kind of really relationship, except that one day when I told him my wife thought he was a very handsome man, which is pretty funny. He laughed at that. I'm just wondering where we're going to get our injury information on the rest of the team. Now that he's not going to be around, he's going to be in the National Football League because of his podcast. Remember we got Jeremiah Smith update based on him going into that Michigan game. Well, I think he said, "Come on, man," or "Come on, bro. Of course you're going to play in this game, whatever." But so cool. Just sum up, sitting there pretty close to some of these big time players like Caleb Downs and watching them do their thing. By the way, before fans go, I want them to see one more little play. you heard Ryan Day talking about those over routes and stuff in the way Carnell Tate was eating up yards,
Yes.
artificial turf, whatever you want to call it. Watch this little play that I captured with my little camera. Now, what you notice there is the ball was thrown high over the middle, and Carnell Tate, which hadn't been talked about enough, has ridiculously long arms.
Yes.
Reached up and plucked it, has ridiculously big hands or long fingers, and makes the play. So then now, who gets challenged to stop that kind of talent at any level of football? Defensive backs.
Well,
right?
They'll try.
Yeah. Watch Caleb Downs cover ground. Because we're going, obviously we talked to him a little bit. You did.
Yep.
You talked to him.
Yep.
And a little bit, right?
A little bit.
Is the best way of putting it. But
and Minnie descended after that. He goes, no, that was the last question.
Yeah, exactly.
And the guy goes, I wasn't in for an expanded interview.
Yeah.
And there was 2 or 3 around us, and we got about a minute and a half, 2.5, whatever it is.
We'll have to check his podcast, is what you're saying, on some of this stuff.
So he was ready to bow out, and then an influx of microphones and cameras descended. He go, oh, no, guys, I'm good. And Joe Nugent actually goes, I just got here.
Yeah. Of course, that's
and
after
sometimes that happens.
That was after he'd done the network stuff. But yeah, well, here you go. You got there.
Indeed.
The early clay gets the worm.
Well, yeah, we're on it.
Or gets the word. The early clay gets the word. I like that.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Let's see what Caleb Downs, who I said a while ago, got up on my soap as Earl Bruce used to say, I got up on my soap opera and touted him. I think he's the best. He's the best can't miss guy in the draft. I know I think he talks a little bit about that knee thing, the rumors about his knee thing, one way or the other.
He was asked. Yes.
Yeah. He didn't run a 40, but boy, otherwise he looked like he was running mighty fine out there on the field.
He's got an engine, man.
Yes, he does.
He
gets to where the ball is going. That's the most important thing for a defender, correct?
Correct.
Forget about prototypical size, speed, his awareness, his ability to read plays before they happen, to get other people involved, but then to get to the play. I mean, and by the way, ladies and gentlemen, the passes you're going to be seeing are thrown as intentional interceptions. I want you to know that. So anyway, let's get to this little, first let's get to the little play he had, and that I got a little video of, and then we'll get to his your conversation with him. Coming right at you here, Clay.
I'm ready.
I would think any pro football quarterback who throws that pass is probably going to get jerked next play, but I digress. But let's get to what Caleb had to say when you ran into him, when you bumped into him.
Yeah, we tried.
Not really much to worry about. Just go out there and do it.
How'd it go for you?
It was great.
Is this process surreal for you, knowing that you're one step closer to achieving your dream?
I mean, getting in the NFL, getting drafted it's not the dream. So not really much to worry about. Just go out there and do it.
How'd it go for you?
It was great.
Is this process surreal for you, knowing that you're one step closer to achieving your dream?
I mean, getting in the NFL, getting drafted it's not the dream. So just another step and just continue to stay on the path that I'm on.
Caleb, now that you've had some time away from last season and some of the successes, and obviously you achieved some things, but maybe not other things. How do you think fans should remember the 2025 season?
Teams that really went out there and competed. Honestly, we had a lot of great ball players on defense that played hard. We had a lot of talent on offense that played really hard. I think teams that you can tell are having fun out there and having fun as a team, that's a big thing. So I think that was huge for us. And then we didn't accomplish the end goal, but we did have a 12-0 regular season and played at a really high level throughout the year. There's so much to say about the defense, so much to say about the quarterbacks, the receivers, and the offense and everybody like that. So there's a lot to say, but we didn't win the end goal, so that's what it is.
Have you had any conversations with the Bengals, and if so, how are those going?
No comment.
Caleb, a report
One
came
more.
out.
This last one.
A report came out after the combine that some teams had some medical
Bye.
concerns.
Yeah,
Were you surprised by that, and what do you have to say?
Nothing. I mean, really, they already answered it. Pat McAfee put out a statement about it. That's not what my medical says, so that is what it is. I don't really know who gave him that information, whoever that dude is, but it is what it is. So, I mean, just continue to do me. I can't control that or what people say, so just here.
If you got a
Good luck.
chance in life.
Yeah,
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
I just got here.
I don't know. Sorry about that.
Good.
Interesting, because that was Caleb Downs in a nutshell right there. About being in charge of his surroundings.
Right.
And I'm not saying, would never say too good for us, and he's not. I mean, he would answer questions, but he's if you want the real details, go to his podcast, I mean, that's okay. Different guys are different. I'm going to have a bunch of stuff on Caden McDonald, who I don't mind saying, probably my favorite player last year, because I like the big dudes. I think the big dudes are football. The big dudes make it football. And this guy is going to be in the National Football League and is probably going to be a first-round draft pick based on the way he moved around today. We'll have some video of that on Friday and the way he was screaming while he was doing it, which I thought added a great touch, a Caden McDonald touch.
Yes.
Because if you noticed, kind of reminded me of my older son, Kyle, took after his mom. I mean, in this sense, really good artist. He could have been an artist in some respect. He's a urban and regional planning guy. Does city planning work for based in a firm here in Columbus, but all over the country. And
hats off to him.
Yeah. But it's like, how did you get into that? Well, I'm not saying I led him into it, except we were always talking about stuff like that, and just like I had big interest in aviation and a lot of other things growing up, and became a sports writer because I think that was what I called the water finding the easiest way down the mountain. You know what I mean? But the thing about Caden McDonald, he always has a twist. Everything about him is adding a twist.
Yeah.
I mean, from those shoes he wore, those puffy slippers he wore to practice to interviews one time, to
the Crocs.
He had those orange. We had the Crocs, but he also had the ones that were fluffy. And I asked him at one time how many pairs of glasses you got, whatever he said, 6 or 10.
Yeah.
He's an interesting guy off the field. On the field, as he and you'll hear us talk about, he turns on the mean machine when he's on the field.
He has that.
I mean, that's what's amazing about football players. You have to be able to turn that off, or you get in a lot of trouble if you can't turn that off. After. And
no doubt about it.
And that's the red line, as they call it at Ohio State. Once you cross the red line, you take no prisoners, even if they're your teammates. So, but anyway, I just had a really interesting conversation with him because I think he's probably the linchpin on whether they get 5 guys drafted. Well, of course he is in the first round of the draft. I mean, we're talking about Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs, Arvell Reese,
Carnell
Tate, and possibly Caden McDonald.
If you like the big boys, and I know we've already talked to Kenyatta, but
yeah,
every time I look at him,
I haven't run him yet, though. We haven't run him yet on our show.
That dude, he said, I've added 8.5 pounds of muscle.
Yeah.
And I got rid of some body fat, and he looks like he and Schwarzenegger knew each other back. He's transformed. He's hard.
Yeah.
now.
Just like Luke Montgomery, as I accused him the other day. I mean, we're going to have some stuff from him later in the week, or maybe next week, because you can't run everything every day. But just from talking with him, he's on the similar diet that Caden McDonald got on last year, and didn't really lose weight, but became a different looking guy.
Right.
And so mean machine, man, you want that mean machine clicking on all cylinders. But let's get real quick before we're done here. Let's get to already ran the video, right, of Caleb Downs making a little, taking away that little short thrown pass, but just how fast he goes from there to there. And it'll be interesting to watch what happens to him in the draft. But let's get to, as we were walking out the door, we spotted Matt Patricia.
Your guy.
And for Matt Patricia, it was like old home week. Every coach, every NFL coach and scout and everybody knows him. He was in the NFL for umpteen years. was a head coach of the Detroit Lions for a while, but didn't leave there on his own terms, so to speak. But man,
with the Patriots,
he's been a breath of fresh air since he's been at Ohio State now, starting into his second season. And all those guys were giving him high fives, glad handing, all that kind of stuff. So he had just finished and was exhausted from all the hugs, I think.
Yeah.
When you and I caught up with him going out the door. But
he didn't give us the dirty look. He was like, oh,
no.
Hey.
Well, I told him, see, he and I have something in common. We both can play the trumpet.
Nice.
Or at least he can still. I don't know if I can or not. Used to. And he loves the A-10 Warthog. And he and I've talked about how the armed services have tried to get rid of the A-10 Warthog that is outdated or whatever.
Yeah.
What were they sending in to help open the Strait of Hormuz?
The A-10.
The A-10 Warthog, one of the greatest flying machines ever invented, built around a huge Gatling gun.
Really?
That you never want to see that thing pointed at you.
Wow.
4,000 rounds a minute. And we're not talking about 22s.
So
coming at you. And then also can launch rockets, missiles, drop bombs, and cruises around about 330 miles an hour. It's a slowpoke compared to everything else.
Yeah.
But man, can he get the job done? Yeah, heavily armored, so he can take a licking and keep on clicking that minigun or that big gun. But yeah, he's an aviation buff, like I said.
Yeah.
He wanted to be an
that's how he wants
aerospace. I think he wanted to be an aerospace or aeronautical engineer at one point.
That's how he wants his defense to
But
play.
maybe like me, he did like water. Took the easy way down the mountain. But anyway, let's get to what he had to say at the end here. Because here's the thing. Just 3 years ago, he was doing what those guys are doing today. Just like Ryan Day did there for a couple of years under Chip Kelly, first at the Philadelphia Eagles and the San Francisco 49ers. So let's see what Matt Patricia had to say going out the door. Go over and stand in the corner.
I just wanted to see your
Goober.
students out there. Not a final exam, what kind of exam you call it, but I mean, you used to be on the other side of this back in the day. How did you think those guys did? I mean, Caleb, down the line.
Yeah, great day. I mean, I thought it was just great for those guys to get out on the field and showcase some things, maybe more specific that, the NFL wants to see. The head coaches and the GMs and the scouts that are here, get a little bit of a different look than the combine where it's those routine drills. Now we get to see maybe a little bit of highlighted of ability, deep ball play, if it's Caleb or, Arvell coming off the edge. So it's really exciting. I think the other thing that goes on behind the scenes that a lot of people don't realize is these guys actually come in the day before. They get in the classroom with our guys. They get a chance to get them up on the board and watch tape and really pick their brains. So it's a good opportunity there for us to also show just the kind of the football knowledge too that these guys have.
Yeah, and you like I said, you've been on the other side of this. You were on this other for a long time. What are you mainly looking for? What are those guys mainly looking for in a moment like this? The scouts and coaches, etc.
Yeah, it's a great question. I think it just depends on the individual and how much interaction you've had with them so far. Some of it might be that classroom work. Some of it might just be getting to know them a little bit better. And some of it might be a very specific drill that you're looking for on the field, whether maybe it's hitting a sled or doing something like that, like our big guys did. And they went down and actually got a chance to hit the individual sled, and you felt and you heard the power that those guys have.
Caden McDonald was screaming while he was doing his drill. Does that get a scout's attention?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
I do. I do love it. I do love the energy and the excitement. We always say, hey, look, the louder you are, maybe the faster you go. So we just kind of get that one.
Yeah, and let's say Caleb. We'll ask you tomorrow about all this, but but he's special, right? I mean, I've rarely seen a guy with everything. Plus, he can do it on the field.
Yeah.
Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, that's the thing about it is it's 100% yes.
Yeah.
It's just that's what it is. It's that simple. It's he does it all on the field. He does it all off the field. He's the face of your franchise.
And is Davis Igbenogson is his best football ahead of him? What's your take on that?
I really do. I love IGB. I think where he went from 2 years ago to last year and that growth that you saw, that's only just going to keep going with the coaching and getting to the league and working and learning those techniques. So his future's bright.
Talking about Davis Igbenogson, who we had not mentioned until really now, but dude, he's a second or third round pick.
Right.
I mean, who knows?
Right.
He looks the part for a sort of a Jeffrey Okuda kind of looking dude. Long.
He's very long.
Can get to places. The tape, the video for him is going to hurt him a little bit just from all the, the holding, pass interference things. And when you watch a video of him, he uses his hands when he doesn't have to sometimes, but there's no doubt the talent.
Yeah, and he started in the SEC and the Big Ten. Somebody's going to take him.
Yeah,
no question about it. He's an angular, thin, almost wispy in some ways,
but he's not. If you stand next to him,
he'll thump.
He's
you.
a thick dude. I mean, he's.
You think? So? Okay.
Oh yeah. I mean, he loves the physical aspect of the game, and boy,
he does.
If you don't have to cajole that out of a guy, you're already a head start. Well, like I said,
Patricia echoed what you said about Caleb Downs.
Yeah,
he's the face of your franchise.
Oh yeah, well he is. I mean,
the value of
he may not want him. He may not be the spokesman you want because he doesn't like to. Sometimes he doesn't say much, but he's built to be a pro. He's a pro.
Yeah,
man.
he handles himself.
He handles his business.
He does,
and that's what I like.
Question.
I think that's the best way of summing him up. He's prepared.
Yeah.
He's rarely surprised. And then on the field, see play. Give everybody else an insight into what's coming.
Yeah.
And you know what? If I can get there to make the play, I'm making it.
Right.
So I don't know what else you want from a defensive football player than that, especially a guy maybe in the backfield, back in the back, maybe up in the middle somewhere. I think people will catch on that this guy is special in terms of where he can play him on the field. And everybody goes, well, this is the NFL. That's the way these people talk. Well, this is the NFL. You kind of no, man. You end up a lot of times playing against a lot of the same guys you played against in college. If you matched up there, you're going to match up in the National Football League. For Clay Hall, my name's Tim May. Until Friday, and I'm not sure who my guest is going to be on Friday, but it's going to be a goodie.
It will be.
We will see you then. Shh. By the way, Clay has left the room. I wanted to let you folks in on a real bargain out there in the world of simulator golf. The Back Nine Golf, which is located at 2820 Fishinger Road in Upper Arlington, has a hell of a holiday box available to you right now. The value is nearly $300, but your price is $150 if you jump online. That's almost 50% off if you jump online at Columbus at theback9golf.com. That's their email address. Their website is theback9golf.com/Columbus-upper-Arlington-OH/ That's a long address, but just write it down a couple times watching it. And you can also call them at 614-362-7888, parentheses, PUTT, P-U-T-T. But the bottom line is one of the new ultra modern simulators that you can find in the greater Columbus area. And it's really right there in the middle of Upper Arlington. I know Tito Thidoff and I hopped in there the other day. I think it was 16 degrees outside. There was snow and ice everywhere, and we played Pebble Beach. And we did it in less than an hour. So it's one of the great bargains going out there. And with this holiday box, you get 1 month of Birdie membership. You get Back Nine branded golf balls. You get cozy Back Nine beanie, and you get premium Back Nine towel. So that's a hell of a deal because basically it's unlimited golf. It's 24/7. You get a code to get you in the door, and then you can go from there. And it's definitely fun. It's the premises are pristine. I know we had a great time. We even played closest to the hole, a few shots on number 7, famed number 7 short par 3 at Pebble Beach the other day, and had a great time doing it. So if you're looking for that last minute gift for a golfer that you love, or yourself that you love, that you're a golfer, nothing wrong with giving yourself a gift at this time of the year. That's the Back Nine Golf holiday box, and it's only a limited time. And as you can imagine, there are only a few available. Quantities are tight. So check in at theback9golf.com.